So, welcome everyone to Gentle Yoga for All Levels. For this practice, we're going to focus a lot on twisting. So, if you have a block, I'd like you to just find that block, and you can also use a firm pillow or like a little soft bedroll kind of thing. We're going to start with that right here above our knees. And this block is going to give us a really early sense of our midline or our core. And we're going to really focus on that this morning. So, take some time to find the exact right footprints for yourself to really kind of squish your heels and your toes down into your yoga mat so you really feel firmly grounded, and then hug in toward that block. Lift the pelvic floor, draw the core in nice and tight, and then we'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And you might find when you do that, that spins your palms forward. It lifts your breastbone or your heart just a little bit. And let's just take some breaths right here in mountain pose through the nose. Imagine drawing breath up from the earth, and that breath just moves through the bottom of your feet, this energy lifting all the way up into the crown of your head. And the exhale moves in the opposite direction. And you just might notice gravity drawing you down toward the earth as you exhale. So feeling that again, inhale and the energy lifting up from the bottom to the top. And the exhale, that energy sinking down top to bottom. We're going to start today in this practice of twisting with a little bit of opening through the upper body. So on the inhale, just let your arms float up about halfway. On the exhale, bring your hands to heart center. On your next inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, the arms sink all the way down to your sides. We'll do that again. Just float the arms up, little effort. Exhale, come into the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms down to your sides. One more time, just movement with breath, halfway up, into the center, overhead, and down to your sides. So just feeling that movement in the shoulders, let's bring that down just a little bit to the rib cage. So everybody bring your hands onto the bottom ribs and just kind of scoot your fingers forward and back so you get a sense of this nice cage called the rib cage. And we're just going to gently rotate that from side to side. And see if you can do that without moving your hips. So the movement is really just happening up around the ribs. Today, we're going to really watch for any point of strain around the lower back as we do this movement. So we're going to avoid any pinching in the lower back or the sacrum. Okay, so let's just add this rib cage movement to what we just created. So coming back to center, we'll inhale, float the arms up. We'll exhale, bring the hands to heart center and just let the rib cage twist to the right. Arms come up. And then back down in the center. Inhale, come halfway up. As the hands come to the heart, just let your rib cage rotate toward the left side. Arms reach. And we rotate back to center. Let's just try that again. Breathe in. Hands to heart, breathe out, twist right. Reach up. And lower down. Perfect, everybody. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, center. Rotate left. And reach. Inhale. And then come back to heart center. Good. So just noticing that this block is really helping us keep the lower body stable, inviting this gentle, like think of a washing machine and agitating cycle. All right, a little bigger movement. Arms reach. This time we'll soften our knees and hinge from the hips into a forward fold. Pressing hands to shins, we'll lift halfway and fold forward, reaching high. Bring the hands to heart. So that's called a half salutation. Let's do a couple more of those, continuing to squeeze that block, aware of midline. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway, breathe deep. Exhale, fold. Rise high, extended mountain. And hands to heart. Let's go one more time. Rise up. Bow low. Lift halfway. Bow again. And reach up. Hands come to heart center. So as your thumbs touch your sternum, take a deep breath in here. Lift your heart. Exhale, sink the chest a bit. And just notice this ebb and flow of breath. Coming and going. With your hands at hip crease, let's fold all the way down forward and we'll take the block out, set it aside. Soften the knees a bit and come into a forward fold of your choice. So you can touch the ground, you can touch your elbows. See if you can feel this ebb and flow of breath here, that even though you're not moving, there is movement. So breath is causing this little rising and falling. One more big breath in and out. And we'll settle our hands onto the mat. Let's step back into downward facing dog and we'll keep our knees pretty bent. You can pedal your heels or just bend and straighten. Let's take a few breaths here in this upside down posture. And as we come into child's pose, just let your hips press back over your heels. Fingertips stretch long. Noticing again this ebb and flow of breath. And there's this space in between the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath. I want you to really start to look for that now, the space between an inhale and an exhale. Notice that perfect stillness, like a calm lake between each breath. Let's let that space between breath become a meditation, place for all of our attention to land. Coming up into tabletop, we'll swing our legs around and we're going to find a seat. You're welcome to sit on your block now if you like. And we'll continue watching this ebb and flow of breath, but I'd like you to start to use that ujjayi breath sound, so the H for the whisper. So take a deep breath in, pausing at the top, that H sound on the exhale with the lips closed. Looking for the spaces between. Let your hands return to the rib cage again, and you'll feel that expansion of the ribs outward on the inhale, and the softening inward on the exhale. So let's add that gentle twist. Inhale to the right, just a soft flow to the right, breathe in, and then return to center, breathe out. Left side, inhale. Return to center. So noticing probably how much Less movement is involved in this twist than what we normally do when we're leveraging with our arms. This tiny twist that we're doing is extremely beneficial to the discs between our vertebrae. They're spongy and we're hydrating those discs here. We're not forcing. Just doing this gentle twist. Let's go one more time to each side. As we return back to the center, let's place our right hand on the ground and scoop our left arm up and over. Breathe here a couple of breaths into the left side of the rib cage. You can hear the sound of your breath, and you're just finding a space in between. Reaching both arms up, take a huge breath in, and then drop the left arm. Pull the breath over into the right lung, the right ribs. Our whole life is riding this ebb and flow. Come back to center. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, pull the ribs forward. Exhale, press the ribs back. Seated cat and cow. You think about it from the moment we're born until the moment we exhale for the last time, we're riding this wave of breath, this ebb and flow. And when we can find the spaces in between those breaths, we are truly present. We're in the moment of our own experience. We watch the cycles of the moon ebb and flow, and the tide and the seasons. We watch day turn to night, just like this breath coming and going. Come up to a tall seat, let your arms float. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Do that one more time. Side, the heart, reaching, and lowering. Walk your fingertips behind you and find a glorious stretch for the front of your body. The antidote for all of our round shoulders, forward living. Maybe lift your chin, just let breath flow into the front of your body. Beautiful. Returning now to a tabletop position. So we've got this idea of ebb and flow. Let's stack our hands under our shoulders and move through cat and cow in that way of looking for space in between. So pausing just a little bit longer after the exhale. And waiting just a little longer as the breath is suspended. Just letting life slow down a bit. Living inside of this pause. Returning to neutral spine, bring your right hand up to the back of your head or even just touch your shoulder. We're going to take a little twist here, and I can't twist very far, but go to the edge of where you don't feel any strain. And then exhale, rotate that elbow toward the opposite elbow. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. One more time, we'll open, release that hand, and then scoop it through. Come into thread the needle. Take a few breaths into the back of your shoulder. You can walk your opposite arm up or keep it here like a little kickstand. Maybe even wrap it behind your back. See if you can find its perfect home. Look for a space in between your breaths. And returning to a tabletop, we'll switch sides. So find your perfect table legs. Left hand comes to the back of the head. Inhale as far as you can without strain. Exhale, rotate toward the opposite elbow. Good. It's a great time to just really teach yourself to stop before you come to that sharp edge in the low back or the sacrum. One more nice deep breath, release the fingers up high, and then go ahead and scoop through, thread the needle, and on to the back of the shoulder. Find the space between. Notice if there's any tension in your jaw. Maybe just open and close your mouth. Shift your jaw a couple of times from side to side. Beautiful, and then come back to center. If your knees are starting to feel uncomfortable on the floor, fold your mat again under your knees. We're going to come up onto our kneecaps or our shin bones. And we'll take our same flow that we did earlier. So we'll let the arms float out to the sides. We'll exhale to the heart. Let's inhale, reach the arms, maybe the tiniest little back bend here. And as we lower the arms, we hinge all the way down into child's pose. We inhale, float the arms halfway. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, a tiny back bend. Exhale, lower the arms and bow down. Ujjayi breath, halfway up. Exhale. Reach high. And bow. And then returning to tabletop, let's tuck our toes again and come back into downward facing dog. This is the second time we've been here. So take your feet as wide as your mat and start to bend one knee more, coming to the outer edges, which creates a nice little twist. I'm going to give you two options. One is to keep doing this because this might just feel amazing. If you'd like to take a little bit deeper twist, hands come back just a bit and then reach one hand to the opposite ankle. You're going to hold the outer ankle and kind of twist yourself through like you're looking underneath your armpit. Fill and empty. Ebb and flow. And if you're taking the twist, switch sides. Otherwise, just keep pedaling those heels with bent knees. And as we return the hands to the mat, let's bend the knees more. Walk the hands backwards to meet the feet. Let's press to shins, come up halfway. So your feet are pretty wide here. This is a wide forward fold. Let's go ahead and put a bigger bend in the knees. Good. And then we'll scoop the arms all the way up. As we exhale, airplane arms, so you can keep your knees bent or straighten them if you want to feel a little more in those hammies. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, scoop backwards. So there is no rush. We're moving with the flow of breath. We're finding spaces in between. One more time. Inhale the arms up overhead. Bring your hands to your heart and close the gap between your legs. So a little bit more like hips distance apart. They don't have to be right together. We're going to play with a twist in that chair pose. All right, so let's inhale the arms high. Find that little back bend. On the exhale, sink down as low as you can into chair and then twist the elbow. So the last thing that happens is the elbow comes across. We'll come back to center, reach back, exhale, sink straight down, then twist. Center and up, straight down. Last minute. Last thing that happens is your twist. Reach high, come low. So one more time on both sides. And you can just feel this gentle wringing out happening in your torso. No force, no strain. Just this little massage. And finding our way back to mountain pose. Beautiful. All right, so we did some twisting standing earlier. We're going to add in the element of balance. So bringing our feet a little bit closer together, let's practice first just to see how our ski legs are today. I've been on a boat a bunch, so I'm probably pretty wobbly, but we're just going to alternate a knee up and then the other. A super slow march in place. If you find that you need a little wider base, go ahead and take that. And then let's end with the right knee up in front of us. We'll bring the left hand across and just take a slow twist looking over the right shoulder. No force and no strain, just a gentle twist of the ribs rotating toward the right. And then unwind, come back to solid ground, lift the left. Find your stability, right arm across, and then slowly rotate. And come back to center. Step wide. Turn your toes out slightly and put a little bend in your knees. All right, this one is going to start small. So we're going to start that tiny little rotation again. And you're going to just assess, how does my lower back feel? If you're getting a green light and your lower back says, yeah, this is okay, add the weight of the arms. Just this little twisting from side to side. If you feel any torque in your knees, you can adjust how you're standing. And then if that feels pretty good, go ahead and swing bigger, almost like a golf swing, Hank. Coming up onto your back toes and letting those arms just kind of wrap around you. You might tap yourself on the back of the shoulders or the sides of your hips. Just let your body twist. Be 5 years old again, twisting in the breeze. You're inhaling on one side, you are exhaling on the other side. And let's make that breath a little more forceful. It's a little bit more like a sniff in and a blow out. You're eventually going to reverse that, keep the movement going, but sniff in on the opposite side, exhale on the other. Your body wring itself out. We'll do 3 more. And then just let those arms be like empty coat sleeves, just Slowly stopping their action and literally hanging at your sides, kind of just a little bit heavy. And breathe. You might close your eyes and notice any tingling or energy in your face, your head, your fingertips. Let your feet come a little closer together, hips distance apart. And if you're not already, go ahead and face the top of your mat. Let's reach the arms high, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Press to shins and take a deeper forward fold. Let all the breath go. We'll keep our right foot where it is. Let's step the left foot back and lower that knee to the ground. Coming into kneeling lunge. If you need some padding under that knee, go ahead and find some comfort. Take a second. This is our first real look at hip flexor. So just take a moment here to let that muscle find its new space. And we're going to play with some twisting here in our lunges. So I'm going to use a block. You're welcome to use a block at any of its levels, low, medium, or high. Once you find where your left hand wants to be, bring your right hand to the top of your right knee. And we'll do what we did earlier, which is starting with a gentle twist and coming back to center. Just like a look over the shoulder, testing the waters. We're trying to twist from the rib cage more than from the low back. And then go ahead and open to your capacity. Let that right arm reach behind you and just kind of wrap behind your waistband. Thread open through the right shoulder and look backwards. Find the ebb and flow of breath here. If you'd like a little more challenge or sensation, you're welcome to pick up your back foot and reach your hand toward your heel or your toes. No strain, no stress. And we'll release back to center, both hands on the floor. Tuck the back toes under, come into low lunge. See if you can find the place where you best balance on those back toes, and we'll rise up to high lunge. Ebb and flow, spaces between. So we're going to play a little, what's it called? Coordination game with our arms. Let's inhale up, and then we'll look over toward the right as our arms peel, and then they'll circle down, and they'll circle outward and up. So the arms are, I think one is clockwise and one is counterclockwise. Is that right? I guess they're both moving clockwise. It's this nice circle that creates a gentle twist. Let's do it one more time. As we reach high, drop the back heel, come into warrior one, interlace your fingers, hands behind the head, and then just press. Press the weight of your head back into your hands, elbows wide, belly long, space between. Reach high. Lower the fingertips to the floor and slowly step the back foot to meet the front foot. Pause here for just a moment to notice the drastic difference, left leg and right leg, especially up near the hip crease. Let your body lift and lower a bit with breath. When you feel ready, step the right foot back, setting up for kneeling lunge on the second side. You might close your eyes as your right hip flexor starts to open and release, lengthen, finding space. The space between the breath. So as we prepare for our twist, you can place your right hand on a block if you like, any level. Left hand to the knee, and then just gently open to the side. Good, and let's just open and close a few times. So that soft rib cage action. Nothing happening in the low back. Very stable and calm around the sacrum. And then open into the twist. Beautiful, let your arm wrap behind your back. It just rests there on the waistband, so the shoulder opens a bit more. You're welcome to stay there, or if you enjoyed that deeper quad stretch, you could pick up your foot and maybe reach toward. So your choice, a lot of exploration here. Beautiful, everyone. Hear your breath. Feel the pause in between. And we'll slowly unwind. Let's tuck our back toes, come into low lunge. Find your solid base and then rise up, high lunge. Get stable, maybe widen your stance if you need to, so you really feel secure here. Inhale, get even taller, and then peel the arms open to a twist to the left side. As the arms lower, we're neutral. We inhale away from our front leg. And then just make that circular action easy, flowy, ebb and tide. Just dancing with your breath, dancing with the seasons, the tides, the ebb and flow of your life, just like this. And then let's reach high. We'll drop the back heel. Fingers interlace. Press back into your hands. Deepen the breath. Expand the rib cage. Let's reach the fingers high. Deep breath in, everybody. On the exhale, lower hands to the earth. Let's step back into downward facing dog. And those of you that like vinyasa, you're welcome to take a flow here. Plank pose, down into chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Just a little pause between movements. When you feel ready, raise your right leg, wiggle your toes, circle your ankle, and then shift up onto your left toes. Hug the right knee forward as far as you can and let that foot settle. You might need to use your hand to bring it forward a bit more. We'll go ahead and drop our back heel, rising up into warrior two. Let those arms circle halfway. Find that nice wide warrior two stance. Fingers on the rib cage. Keep the base and just notice rotation here, what that feels like with the legs in this opposite position. And if that feels okay, go ahead and release the arms and take a very gentle twist to your warrior two. Really taking care of those internal organs. The reason we're all doing this is coming up next. We're going to do a very big and deep twist. And I want you to have this same sensation when we go into this big and deep twist. So hands on the rib cage again, we're neutral. Let's turn toward the front leg and bring that back foot in, prepping for pyramid pose. So if our feet were on a clock, it would be about 11 o'clock. We're going to hinge forward from the hips, folding all the way over our right leg. Say hello to your hamstrings. As your forehead reaches toward the shin, there's that ebb and flow of breath. A microscopic lift and a tiny lowering. Let's lift to a flat back and find our block. So we'll all start with the block on its highest side, inside. It's about a foot away from my front foot. So here it look like that. Okay? Almost like I'm standing in mountain. All right, so block on its high side. Let's bring our hand to our sacrum, right hand, and we're going to twist in and out of this twisting triangle like we did before. You might feel a little movement in your low back, but no strain, no force. Just this gentle undulation, right, of the rib cage and the spine. Let's open and hold. It's a great place to stay. And if you are getting the go-ahead from your body, go ahead and experiment with lower levels on the block. The block is just helpful in keeping the spine flat, parallel to the floor. So if putting your hand down creates this dump in the spine, I'd like you to stay up. Final invitation, fingers to the ceiling if you like. That's going to create a lot more sensation around the hip. Just make sure that it's not low back. Deep breaths. And release the arm, release the twist. Come to wide straddle, bring your block with you. Let's turn our toes out and we're just going to shake that out by lunging side to side. Bring into those inner thighs a bit. How about a long exhale or a sigh? We'll turn toward the back of our mat, which probably should be the left foot forward now. If not, the other leg is forward. We'll drop our back heel and come up into warrior two. Awesome, everybody. All right, hands on the rib cage. Let's explore. Remember that when we get to that twisting triangle, we want it to feel like this. Even if the leg's shaking, we want our lower back to feel this free and open. If you want to add the arms, the weight of the arms, go a little farther. So that's the feeling we're looking for. Hands on the ribs, rotate into pyramid. So the back foot comes in. We'll hinge from the hips over the left leg or back leg. Forehead to shin. Noticing the lift and lower caused by breath. This music sounds like angels singing. It's our hamstrings. Whoa. All right, come up to flat back. Let's start on the high side of our prop. If you have a chair, that would be even better, way up high. Left hand to the low back, and then that gentle twist in and out. It should feel exactly the same as every other little prep we've done. And then let's open and we'll hold the twist. So press down through your left big toe mound. Let that hip lift. There's lots of sensation in the hip, but low back is comfy. You could stay here, or if you wanted, you could lift that arm. And remember, you can play with the levels of your block. You want to go a little bit deeper. Ebb and flow of breath. And release. Let the hand fall, let the twist release, come back to center. All 10 toes now to the side of your mat. One final standing twist. Blocks right here in the center. Take your left hand to your block, twist open with the right. Move the breath into the places that need it most. And switch. And come back to center. Let's return to face the top of our mat. Drop the back knee. Both knees come wide. And let's meet in child's pose. Feel like a block under your forehead. Just roll your head from side to side. That feels really nice. Forehead, brow massage. Some gentle pressure there on the third eye. This is claimed to be communication with our pineal gland, the part of our brain that secretes serotonin and melatonin, our sleep hormones, our relaxation hormones. Let's release. Go ahead and lower your body down to your belly. We'll explore a kind of sweet, a different kind of twist. So we'll take our arms out to the sides in a T shape. We'll pick up our left foot and we're just gonna roll that foot behind us. The toe comes toward the floor. This is a nice stretch for the shoulder. And it's an easy little twist for the spine. Take some deep breaths here. Beautiful. Come back to center and switch. Left ear to the floor, right toes up, and roll backwards. Finding your left shoulder. Deep, slow breath. And return. Let's bring ourselves onto our forearm Sphinx pose. Imagine planting your hands and just dragging your belly button forward. So pulling your body forward. And then once you find all the length of your spine, just turn your head to look over your left shoulder and your right, the twist coming all the way up into your neck. We have 7 vertebrae up there, and they need to be hydrated and squished and stimulated as well. Nice. And then return to the ground, press yourself to tabletop, and let's come back around to where we started, our seated position. This time we'll bring our soles of our feet together in butterfly. You're welcome to elevate your hips if you like. And in butterfly, feet close or far away, it really doesn't matter. Wherever you feel the straight spine happening and the legs pretty relaxed. Yeah, good job. Getting up on those blocks is really helpful for some of us. All right, so back we go. Hands to the rib cage. Easy, gentle agitation cycle. To the washing machine idea. And then just that natural twist to the right. Let the left hand come to the knee, right arm behind. And we're gonna walk those fingers back further. Once we get that hand on the ground, we're gonna kind of scooch a little farther and turn our head. So this might actually be the deepest twist we've done so far today because we're leveraging now with our hands. Breathe deeply. The energy wave rides up and down. Ebb and flow. And ease yourself back to center. Find your rib cage, let the action happen from there. Then set the right hand on the knee, left hand behind, and just take a little walk with your fingertips backwards. Turn your head. Ride the wave of breath up and pause at the top. That suspension. It's like a roller coaster. And just ride the wave down. Pause at the bottom. And let's come back to center. We'll bring our knees in close, come off any props and lower down onto your back. Oh, and once you get here, give yourself a hug. Take any movement you like. Just massage across the low back. We hold so much tension and often pain down there. So hopefully this loosens some things up for you in a really gentle way. I'm going to finish with one more twist. The arms come into a T, the knees drop left, and the head turns right. Let yourself feel this in your chest and shoulders, in your waist, and your hips. Find that big wave of breath coming and going. One more inhale and exhale, and then a transition to the other side. Once you find the position, let the breath do all of the work. The opening and the releasing. Let this last in and out breath be very exaggerated. Breathe as much as you can. Pause at the top. And exhale all the way out. Pause at the bottom. And we'll find our way back to center and onto our backs for Shavasana. Let your feet come out to the width of your yoga mat. Kind of bounce your calves. Let your arms open out to the sides, maybe palms up. Roll your head to the left and right a couple of times. And then come into this perfect midline. This place of surrender. Following the waves of breath up. Retaining the breath for a gentle pause. And down. Suspending the breath out at the bottom. The gentle pause. Finding again a pause at the top of a breath and lingering just a bit longer. And slowly spilling a breath out, lingering in the emptiness. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to gently move your body in any way that feels just right. You can either roll to one side or just use your legs to help you come back to a seat in a way that doesn't disturb this calm space you've created inside. I want to offer you one more breath practice as we leave today that you can take with you and use anytime you find yourself kind of stressing and rushing into the future. This is a square breath or a box breath, and you can leave your hands on your legs. I'm going to just draw a square. So I'd like you to inhale as if you're drawing up one side of the square. Hold your breath as we draw the top. Exhale down the side and suspend the breath out at the bottom. So in your mind, you're drawing a box. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. One more time. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And return to normal breath. You can use that simple exercise anytime you need to come back to present moment. Let's bring our hands together in front of our heart in a gesture of gratitude. And I'll just leave you with this. Many of the yoga masters claim, and I believe this, that all of our truths, all truth, can be found in the space between our breaths. You just have to slow down and get quiet enough to be in that precious space of truth. So may we all live there a bit more today. Let's bow to ourselves and each other and to these gifts of yoga. Namaste. Hi, my friend. Thanks for taking time for yourself today. If you ever want to practice with me live over Zoom, jump over to my website, denisestruce.as.me, grab a class. They're all free or by donation, or just continue enjoying these videos here.